Alright, hear me out. As much as that title sounds like I pulled it from the clickbait gods, the Switch 2, despite being one of the fastest selling consoles of all time, selling over 6 million units within its first 2 months, is the greediest console Nintendo has ever released. And trust me, I'm not just saying this because of all the recent moves Nintendo has been making since the launch of the Switch 2, even though that's kind of what made me feel this way in the first place. When you compare the Switch 2 Nintendo to the Nintendo we knew when the Wii and Switch were released, and dropping absolute heat like Super Smash Bros., Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, and Wii Sports, you'll see that Nintendo still cares about making amazing games for their fans, at least most of the time. But what they care about even more than that now, unfortunately, is making as much money as possible from Nintendo fans through what seems like the least amount of effort. Whether it be raising prices on their consoles, games, and even their accessories due to macroeconomic conditions, or just being less consumer friendly overall, Nintendo has fully gone overboard, and I don't think there's any coming back from it. Which is what brings me to what the community has coined Marioflation. Video games and video game adjacent products are expensive as now more than ever due to a plethora of different reasons this video isn't long enough to get into. But Nintendo has gone absolutely sicko mode on the prices of almost everything in their product line. From their accessories like controllers getting more expensive, to raising the price of an 8-year-old console on the Switch about 15% across all of its models, to raising the prices of their new games to never before seen heights. And somehow, someway, raising the prices of their old games as well, while offering essentially little to no value in return for at least a $10 bump in the game's price. Whether it be upcharging fans to play OG Switch games on the Switch 2, like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom to be able to play them in 4K, when one of the main reasons to buy a Switch 2 was to play games consistently at higher resolutions, like 4K. It's like Nintendo is having their cake, eating it, then charging us for the plate it was served on. Or offering Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 with basically no changes but resolution bumps and a couple of extra Rosalina storybook pages for $70 or $40 individually, when each game used to cost only $20 on the Wii. Apparently, a few minor updates justifies doubling the price on games that are old enough to have a driver's license. Nintendo is getting away with highway robbery while disguising it under enhanced and upgrade editions. The craziest thing about these upcharged uplifts is that while Nintendo is charging money for some of them, they'll gladly provide a free Switch 2 upgrade for other major games like Mario Odyssey and Splatoon 3. It's almost like Nintendo at this point is just seeing what they can get away with upcharging, and they're getting away with all of it. Because Nintendo fanboys are probably the most loyal fan base on the face of the planet, followed closely by Undertale and Five Nights at Freddy's fanboys, of course. Since the only reason why Nintendo raises prices on products that have come out over a decade ago from my perspective, is that they have the utmost confidence that despite the complaints from the public, the fanboys will swoop in and gladly buy whatever they put out, even if it's a re-release of a console that flopped in the mid-90s with the Virtual Boy. But Nintendo has been going so far with their egregious pricing practices that I don't think they even care about their public perception anymore. Mario Kart World alone proves this when it was revealed after the Switch 2 Nintendo Direct to be priced at a mind-boggling $80.
Mamma mia!
Don't get me wrong, while the game has plenty of flaws, it is a system seller that is generally a fun experience, with most of the features that made us fall in love with Mario Kart games in the first place. I just can't imagine actually paying 4 Silk Songs for one Mario Kart World though. And with the announcement of a $30 DLC for Pokemon ZA, a $70 game that hasn't even been released yet, we finally reached the elusive $100 price tag to get the full experience on a AAA game, which will definitely not have other companies thinking they could do the same exact thing. The most surprising part about this to me is that I was silly enough to think that GTA 6 was going to be the first $100 game in a video I made a couple months ago, linked up above. Nintendo went from being the family-friendly brand that made affordable all-time classic games and consoles, to literally pricing out a lot of their fans who can't afford to buy $80 to $100 games when they have better things to worry about. I'm sure Pokemon ZA will be a lot of fun to play and seems like a well-needed addition to the Pokemon lineup of games. But if I'm paying $100 for a video game, it's gotta be one of the greatest games I will ever play when games like Silk Song are only $20 and Clear Obscure is only $50. If you're a casual Pokemon fan and that $100 price tag scares you though, don't fret, Power World is only $30. And while the Switch 2 itself is a huge upgrade over the original Switch, let's talk about that price point. Because at 450 buckaroonies, Nintendo is no longer the affordable alternative in the handheld market. They used to be the company you went to when you didn't want to drop serious cash on gaming. Now, for basically the same price, if not less, you can get a Steam Deck. And here's the thing about the Steam Deck. For the time being, it's just a better value proposition. Bigger game library with multiple marketplaces to choose from. Games actually go on sale daily. Plus, hypothetically speaking, you could use it to emulate games. Not that I'm telling you to do that in case Nintendo ninjas are listening. Just saying it's possible. So when Nintendo's charging more than competitors who offer more, you have to ask, why are we paying premium prices for a company that's nickel and diming us at every turn? And with the advent of game keycards, Nintendo has become even more anti-consumer, where a lot of new physical Nintendo games are being sold as game keycards, which are a much cheaper manufacturing alternative to normal 64GB cartridges, with 64GB cartridges costing up to $15 per copy. Unlike a PS5 disc that has all the game data on it when you buy it, these game cards have nothing stored on them. You need an internet connection to download the actual game. And once Nintendo's servers inevitably go offline years from now, these cards become worthless plastic, which is just terrible for game preservation. When people buy physical games, they want to actually own the game. That's literally the entire point. However, none of the savings from game keycards are being passed on to us as gamers. Nintendo and third-party publishers get to save money while we pay full price and lose ownership over the games we pay for. We're getting fleeced from every angle, and Nintendo gets a laugh all the way to the bank. And the cherry on top of this pissy pie? On paper, the Switch 2 actually has an impressive launch. Over 20 titles available day one, which blows most of Nintendo's previous console launches out of the water. Here's the problem though. The vast majority of those games are third-party titles and not actual first-party Nintendo games. And the few real Nintendo games we are getting, they're charging us out the ass for those too. I've already mentioned Mario Kart World and Pokemon ZA, but look at Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. It's basically a glorified instruction manual for the console, and they want 10 buckaroonies for it. This kind of game used to come for free with your system, like Wii Sports and Switch Sports did, but now we have to pay to learn about the features of a console we paid for? I'm sure the Switch 2 is only going to get better and better with all of the games getting released on the console over the coming months, and was a well-needed upgrade over the original Switch. But with the moves Nintendo has been making, I just think they've given up on the casual gamer to appeal to more premium gamers like their fanboys. So much so that I leave you with this to hammer in that point.
Nothing will stop me! Not even giant clams! Oh, no! I'm not letting go, even for cheese graters! No! If you think I'll let go for a little educational television!